Hello and welcome back to our continuing adventures on the Let's Defend platform. We're taking a slightly different approach. I have finished everything that is underneath the incident responder path as it is currently at the time of recording, March 12th, 2022. So we are back to the Security Analyst section. I figured I would start with the events that have fired off for thus far for March. See as to whether or not if I've missed anything else, because it looks like it's the latter half of February that's available. And I think there's like a hard cutoff limit for the amount of incidents or alerts that are basically showing up. So we're going to grab the first one for March 1st, 2022, 10:10 a.m., and that being SOC170, password found in requested URL, possible LFI attack. Event ID is 120, type is web attack. So LFI is local file inclusion. So if we take a look at the requested URL that's presented, they are attempting to, with that question mark file equals dot dot dash or slash dot dot slash blah 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 blah. That's in an attempt to basically backwalk back to the root of the Linux drive and then move forward to etc and then present the Passwd file. So attempting to basically get information in regards to valid user accounts. You would end up needing that along with the shadow file in order to go through and start doing password cracking. Assuming, of course, that this actually rendered something. I mean, it shows that it was allowed, so okay, the local agent didn't stop anything. But that doesn't necessarily mean they could have been presented with a 404. So let's see, we're going to need log management. We're going to need endpoint because we're going to need to go poking around. And then just to make sure, we're going to open up email. And we are going to check the mailbox to see if there's anything remotely around March 1st. And there does not appear to be so. Looks like last email was late October 2021. So we are in the future. Man, I wish I could sit there and not have that much email. This was what? Web server 1006? Memory serves me right? Where's my notes? I grabbed everything up to that point so far. Yeah, web server 1006 should have the IP address of 172.16.17.13, which this one does. Primary user, web admin 11. It's another window. It's a Windows box, and you're trying to pull up etc. Oh, cripe. Somebody didn't do their homework. So I laugh because there is no such thing as etc passwd on a Windows platform. There is on a Linux platform. Oh, okay, so we got 106, 55, 45, 162. And this is the... It was permitted, and it gave the response status of 500. So, what is 500? Internal server error. Which would kind of make sense considering the fact that the path does not exist. Here we go, list of HTTP status codes, even though it's on Wikipedia. A generic error message, given when unexpected condition was encountered and no more specific message is suitable. As opposed to, get out of here with that LFI crap. Oh well. Let's see, do we still have, yes, okay. So, let's do the basic check. On the IP address in question. Not the local IP address, but the attacker's. And I'm going to do that in air quotes, attacker IP address. Okay, so it's suspicious or malicious, depending as to who you talk to. This was checked all the way back in the, what is it, second quarter of 2021? Outgoing links, WordPress. Interesting. So it's 10-cent, questionable web reputation, neutral email, but it is not necessarily just tossed in there as crap. Oh, never mind. I take that back. Block list. Talos Security Intelligence block list. Is it added? Yes. Its classification is attackers. It looks like it will expire this month. So 7 days is the time of recording, but it's currently active. And okay, yeah, brute force, honeypot, scanner. So it is a Chinese IP that has a well-established history of basically just scanning everything. Which, okay, I guess then if it's just basically automated, they're looking for targets of opportunity, then I would have to imagine that we would probably, well, I guess they could be just specialized in LFI, looking for ETC password. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them come back with other things. I mean, my experience, it's usually a wide variety of different things that they'll try. So it'll be like // etc password, // etc password, and basically just build it up more and more and more and more, as opposed to just stopping at 4. Maybe they figured 4 would be enough. Don't know. Okay, so we obviously know that this is not the kosher. So we're going to grab raw log. This is going to be from the perimeter. Clean that up. So we have, it's March, so 03/01/2022 at 10:10. It's the firewall type. And we have (106.55.45.162) via port 49028. Then reaching out to our 172.16.17.13 on port 443, so HTTPS, which was in the requested URL. So, okay, so we've got that. How to install Docker, these are all February 19th, so that doesn't play anything into this. Same thing here. Network connections. Again, February. So it's kind of odd that we don't even see this particular aspect. And then effectively nothing that really looks like it stands out that much. Chrome, okay, that's to be expected because we just did C2 entries for web surfing, browsing, whatever. But yeah, everything else just kind of looks par for the course. I mean, it was permitted, but it crapped out. Do we need to request containment? Not so much. It doesn't look like it was even remotely compromised from everything here. Because, like I said previously, it's a Windows box. Windows does not have a C:/etc/password file or a C:/etc/shadow file. I guess the only way that would actually technically be incorrect is as to whether or not if you were running that, what is it, the Linux subsystem for Windows, where you literally have Linux inside your Windows. But by default, it would not have it. So let's go ahead and let's take ownership. So it looks like February 25th is the earliest one that we can see here. So we'll see if that changes once we run through this. So, I mean, it most definitely was a true positive because it was a possible local file inclusion attack. Just not really aimed well. But let's go ahead and run the case. Now, realistically, all we have for IOCs is the attacker. Okay, so understand why the alert was triggered. Just to determine if it's false positive. Examine the rule name. Well, I think we looked at that. So it's Passwd found in requested URL, which is true because the whole thing was because the whole aspect did include ending off in the Passwd file. And then what was the other aspect? Direction of traffic, protocol being used, everything else like that. So yeah, outside in, I mean, everything matches up. Collect data. Ownership of the IP address and devices. Well, we know it's web servers 1006. We know that it returned a status code of 500, mainly because of the fact that Windows does not have an etc password file and directory. Outside coming in. Ownership of the IP. Is it static? Yeah, I'd assume so. Yeah. I don't want to talk to you about that. Oh, there's a collection in regards to this one. SSH Brute Force Honeypot Live. Does this denote like dynamic or anything else like that? No. I'm going to assume just static. I don't remember seeing this either. Who owns it? Web hosting. It's what, Tencent, right? Yeah, Tencent Cloud Computing. Reputation. Not great. Questionable. On Talos' shit list, and that's good enough for me. Traffic coming from the company network. Well, besides the 500 response. Who owns the device? That was what, WebAdmin 11? Yeah. Not that that's really going to tell us anything. Examine the traffic. Really? Huh. I'm going to go back and take a look at this, but I mean, it's here, so let's take a quick look. I swear I've done this before. But let's... How does it work? Yeah, okay, so they give actual examples of it right here. I think it's been a little while since I've gone through and actually have done this particular port. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, I guess I could go back and actually run through the training. Although, obviously, I'd expect everybody to actually go through and do it themselves before watching me go through and do it. You know, actually get something out of it. But yes, this is definitely local file inclusion. This was an attempt at malicious traffic. It's local file inclusions. That was if it's a planned. There were no emails. And it comes from the outside, basically from China. So I guess the other aspect would be, okay, does Let's Defend do they do business in China? Do they, not as the organization that creates the training, but more of this fictional organization. Do they do business in China? If they don't, then I don't understand as to why they just don't have it geo-IP'd off, but no indications that it was planned. What is the direction? It is Internet to Company Network. Oh, so intra-network, inside out, outside in. Nice. Determine if it was successful. No, it was not, because the path does not exist on a Windows box. Ergo, the HTTP 500 response. Was it successful? No. Was it blocked? No. And then the only thing we have is the attacker's IP address. And that's it. We don't have anything else. Do you? Oh, this is different. Do you need tier 2 escalation? Then again, I've been doing the IR exercises now for cripe so long. Because I started in the security analyst section stuff, and then they rolled out IR, so I jumped over to IR, was going through that stuff, and now I'm coming back because I've caught up to everything in IR. So this is definitely different. I like this. It asks the question so that if you've never done anything like this, you could see more of like how the actual playbook would actually roll out if you were, say, like a tier 1. Cases where the attack succeeded. It did not. Did they compromise? No. Not required in the following cases. Did not succeed, so we don't need to do escalation. Analyst note. China IP attempted LFI for ETC password on a Windows box. Path and file. I don't really want to say only. Only exists on Unix platforms. Because what? So it would be Linux. I think all the different varieties that pretty much stays a mainstay. And I forget which section Mac OS X is based off of. I thought it was a BSD, but they're close enough. Which resulted in HTTP 500 error. Failed LFI attempt. I did put that. Yeah, okay. So we'll copy and paste, dump that, finish playbook. We've got the analyst notes. And close the alert. It is true positive, and we will denote. Same thing that we dumped in there before. Etc., etc., etc. And we go and take a look, and we got points all the way through, full points on this one, which is good. Editor note. From the log management page, filtering according to the source address should be done. Relevant requests proceeded. Response size is 0. Oh, I kind of missed that aspect. I mean, I copied it off, but I didn't really look that close. But yeah, now that I'm looking directly above the 500 on the notes section that I did. So they're basically making reference to this. So there obviously was no data that went back. It was just the straight 500. Okay, I'm going to take the training. I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to come back to that. Response size 0. For this reason, the attack was unsuccessful. There is no need to contain the device or escalate the incident to the next level, which is correct. Although it would be prudent to go through and see about getting better blacklists put into place for the perimeter. So if you're not doing business in Russia, block it. You're not doing business in Eastern Europe, block the IP addresses associated there, the IP ranges. Not doing business in Taiwan, China, Philippines, so on and so forth. Block, 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 block. So there we go. What are we looking at? 21 minutes. I'm getting a little bit used to sitting there. The IR exercise is taking like 30 minutes plus. So this is nice. But so there we go. That was the other aspect too. If we go back to main. Nope. Okay, so it looks like this is as far back as she's gonna go. Which is fine because I think on the IR side there were an exercise for January. I think that I just put out that was it PK exec vulnerability from 2021, 40 something something something, which is sad because I just finished recording that yesterday and getting it scheduled out. But okay, so there we go. That has been apparently a completely 100% correct essay run for SOC170, password found in requested URL, possible LFI attack, EventID 120, type web attack for March 1st, 2022, 10:10 a.m. And with all that being said, I will see everyone in the next video.